Hello everyone. In this video, we will learn about the concept of nested loops, right? So first, let us see what is a loop. Looping is executing the same set of instructions multiple times till some condition is satisfied. So in this case, while analyzing the problem, the following things have to be taken care. So that is what we call as ICU, wherein first we are initializing the variable, which is the index of the loop. The second one is to test a condition, and then the third part is updation may be increment, decrement, adding to, subtract, or multiply, divide. It can be any operation wherein we are updating the value of the index variable. And then we have the statement which has to be executed multiple times. So these are the four things which have to be identified first. Then we have also seen in your previous classes, we have discussed about the three types of loops, that is while, for, and do while loop. So here in this concept, we are going to discuss about nested loops. A loop, if it is inside a loop, it is termed as a nested loop. It can be combination of any type of loop, that is while, for, or do while. So that will be a nested loop. In this, let us see an example. We know that for has the following syntax. So we have initialization, condition to be checked, and the updation statement. So here, if we say this will be one for loop, and inside that will be the statement which has to be executed multiple times. So this is just a single for loop. Let us see what is nested loop. Nested loop means a loop inside a loop. So that means we have another loop inside this for loop. So in this example, we see there is one for loop which is termed as the outer for loop, and in that we have another for loop which is termed as the inner for loop. The syntax remains the same. So the body of the loop is the statement which executes multiple times. Okay. So let us see what are the contents. So in this video, we will first analyze the concepts required for nested loop, and then we have two programs for which we are going to discuss the program code and then flowchart, tracing, and execute the two programs. Okay, so let us see, before we begin with that, let us see one example to understand the concept of nested loop. So we have, for example, we need to print 11, 12, and 13. Please note that these are one digit. The first digit represents the row number, and then we have 1, 1. That is the column number. So let us consider one number. It is first row, first column. Then in that row, we have 12 and 13. So if we consider this, we are just printing the numbers, say ij. Okay, I is the first digit, j will be the second digit. So we normally consider I to be the row number and j to be the column number in this case. So in the first row, we have 11, which is the first number, which is in first row, first column. 12 is in the first row, second column. 13 is first row, third column. Right? So when we see this, we see the values start from 1 and end at 3. So a for loop is necessary. So we take j starts from 1 up to j less than equal to 3. So every time j increments by 1, so we have the value 1, 2, 3 for the value of j, which is the column, the second digit in these numbers. Let us consider, so this will be one loop, and if we need to print columns, so we will have the next row in the next line. So that is the reason we give a printf/n, so that next row gets printed in the next line. So now when we observe this, this is the pattern which we want to print. So first row had 11, 12, 13, and then row 2 has 21. So what is 21? So that is 2 is row number 2, and 1 is column number 1. Similarly, 22, 23. And then we have row 3 in the next line. So that is row number 3 is common, which is the first digit. Second digit will be the column number. So 1 is the column 1, and then 2 is column 2, 3 will be column 3. So if we want to print this pattern, so just one for loop will give us only 1, 2, 3. Now we need the row number as well as column number. Assuming j to be the column number, let us take row number as I. So when we observe, row also starts from 1 and ends at 3. So we have the outer for loop, which is variable I. I starts from 1 and ends at 3. 1, 2, 3. So this example will print the pattern in this format. So we print 1, 1, which is row 1 and column 1. If we take, for example, 2, 3, this is row 2 and column 3. And 31 will be row 3, column 1. Similarly, 33 will be row 3, column 3. So this nested loop will help us to print the pattern in this format. So we have the first variable I gives the row number, second variable j gives the column number. I hope this example will act as a apt prerequisite to understand the problems we have next. So first we have the problem wherein we need to display two patterns. So the first pattern is as shown, where we are printing 5 rows and 5 columns. First row has P1 printed 5 times, second row has P2, third row P3, fourth row P4, and fifth row is P5. So this is how we can analyze the question first. So we understand that the row number has to be printed along with P in this pattern. And the question has the second part is another pattern, pattern 2. Please observe this has pattern with P1, just one value in the first row. Second row has P1, P2, 2 values in second row, 3 values in third row, fourth row has 4 values, and similarly fifth row has 5 values. When we observe the values carefully, we can see that it is column number. So previous pattern we have printed row numbers. In this pattern we are printing column numbers. So first value in all is P1, that is column number 1. Second value is P2, column 2, then column 3 and column 4. P5 is in column 5. So these are the two patterns we need to print. So let us see how can we solve this using a program. So in this case, we have the first pattern. So first part of the problem, we will solve pattern 1. So wherein we observe that is pattern P1 has to be printed 5 times. If we want to print this, so 1 is nothing but I, as we have seen in the example. So we need to print PI. So that is just print P percentage D I, and we know that there are 5 rows, okay, and 5 columns. So in this case, let us take J. So when we analyze, there are 5 columns, starts from 1 up to 5. So J equal to 1 and J less than equal to 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 will be for the inner loop, which is J. This is for column. So now each row has to be printed in a new line. So we consider a /n. Right. Next, we have the row number. So in this case, row has to be started from 1. So we observe that P1 is the first row, then P2, 3, 4, 5. So row ends at 5. So I equal to 1 and it ends at 5. I less than equal to 5. And every time we are incrementing I value by 1. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that is the pattern. So in this case, we have the nested for loop. This is the logic for printing the pattern. So once we know the logic, we will just add the required variables, that is declare ij as integers, and then we have the starting header file and the main part, and then we have a /n so that we can print the new pattern, second pattern after a new line. Right. So this is the first part of the program for pattern 1. Correspondingly, let us see the flow chart. So when we see, compare each step by step. Start, we have the header file and the main function. Next, we are declaring ij as integers. So when we write the flowchart for the loop, we need to take care of the looping representation. So this is the outer loop for I, and this is the inner loop for j, and the arrows have to be given correspondingly. So I starts from 1 and the condition is given in the decision symbol, I less than equal to 5. So once we check this condition, increment will happen only after execution, one execution of the body of the loop. So in the body, we have j equal to 1. So next step will be j equal to 1 and check j less than equal to 5. Is 1 less than equal to 5? Yes. If yes, then true. Print pi. We know that I is printed because P1 is the row 1. P1 is printed 5 times, that is in row 1. So that is why we take the value of I. Then we have a new line, right? So this executes for one set, one pass, that is for I equal to 1, j executes 5 times, then I becomes 2, j executes 5 times, and similarly we print the value. J executes until it is the value is up to 5. When j becomes 6, condition is false and it exits from the loop, print /n and increment I. And this loop will continue up to I equal to 5. When I becomes 6, the condition is false, the control exits from the loop. And then we have a statement A, which is going to be a continuation, which is for the second pattern. So this flowchart corresponds to pattern 1. Next, let us see what is pattern 2. As per the question we have analyzed, pattern 2 is as shown. It is going to print P along with column numbers. So column number will be J, right? So Pj will print the column number. Every time we want to print first column P1, second column P2, so on up to P5 in the fifth column. So for this, we know there are 5 columns. So J will start from 1, and when we say this, we are not writing j less than equal to 5, unlike the previous problem. So here we write I. That is because when we observe the first row, that is row is 1, we have one value. When we have the second row P1, P2, there are 2 values in second row. So first and second. Then in the third row, there are 3 values. So 1, 2, 3, the row number is 3 and j will be having values of 1, 2, 3. So 1 and 2 are less than 3, 3 is equal to 3. So j value is less than equal to I. Similarly, in the fourth row, I will be 4. Fourth row, j will work from 1, 2, 3 up to 4. And in the fifth row, j is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So as we observe the pattern, the value of j depends on value of I. So up to I only we have the value of j. So j will be less than equal to I. So this is the inner loop. Then we are going to have /n so that each row is printed in a new line. Now when we observe the row number, row also we have starting from 1 up to 5. So there are 5 rows. So I equal to 1 and I less than equal to 5 will be the condition. So this is the code for second pattern. So correspondingly, we have the flow chart. So as we see, I starts from 1 and the condition I less than equal to 5. In this inner loop, j will also start from 1. Condition is j less than equal to I. If it is true, print pj. We are printing the column number, and that is the reason we give j, p and the value of j. Increment j every time. This inner loop executes until the condition is true for j. Once it is false, then new line and I is incremented, and then I becomes 2. For the value of 2, j executes multiple times. Then I becomes 3, and this continues up to 5. When I becomes 6, the condition is false and the control exits from the loop. So this is the logic for the program. So let us see how it actually works with the help of tracing. Tracing tells us step-by-step execution of the program logic. So in this case, first we will trace for pattern 1. What is pattern 1? I have just considered the code, which is the part of the code for nested loop of pattern 1. As we know, according to the question, pattern 1 is to print P1 5 times in the first row, P2 5 times in the second row, similarly P3, P4 and P5 5 times in each row. So let us see what happens first. First, we have the value of I is 1. So let us call this as pass 1. For one value of I, we have it as 1 pass. In that pass, J implements multiple times. So that can be different steps in each pass. So first pass 1, we are printing the value of I as we have analyzed. So that is 1 is row number. So we are printing I. So in this case, first I is equal to 1. So we check whether I is less than equal to 5. Yes, condition is true. So we need to print line 1 in pass 1. So first step in this is with respect to the value of J. J starts from 1. When we check the condition, J has to be less than equal to 5. So first I value is less than, I is 5 and J value is 1. 1 is less than equal to 5 in this case. So we print Pi. I is 1. So I equal to 1, print P1. Next, J increments to 2. 2 less than equal to 5. Yes. Again, we are printing I here. So I is 1. So print P1 second time in line 1. Then J is 3. P1 is printed third time in line 1. So 3 less than equal to 5, condition true. P1 is printed 3 times for 3 executions of J. And I is just 1 execution. So that is pass 1. J has executed 3 times now. So then we have J equal to 4. So when J is 4, print Pi, that is P1 fourth time. So in the first row, we are printing P1 4 times. Then J becomes 5. 5 is less than equal to 5. Print Pi, that is P5. P1, sorry. P1 is printed 5 times. Next, when J becomes 6, we observe that 6 less than equal to 5 condition is false and it does not execute this printf statement and it exits from the inner loop, that is only from J. So J completes, then we have a /n. So that means we have now printed only line 1, which is the first part of the pattern. Pattern 1, first line is P1 5 times. Now similarly, pass 2. Pass 2, we have I equal to 2. So 2 is less than equal to 5. 5, that is the condition. Now in pass 2, we need to print line 2. Right? So line 2, again J starts from 1. Please note this is very important. J will not continue from 6 or 7 as in the previous step. J always starts from a new value. For every new execution of the inner loop, J will start fresh from the first value 1. So in this case, in the first pass, we printed 5 times P1. Now, second pass, we are printing J value is 1, 1 less than equal to 5. We are printing Pi. What is I? I is 2. So we print P2 1 time. Next, J increments to 2. So we are printing Pi, that is P2 second time. Third step in pass 2, J increments to 3. 3 less than equal to 5, true. Print P2 in the second line, third time. Then J becomes 4. Print Pi, that is 2. P2 is printed fourth time in line 2. Then J becomes 5. P2 is printed 5 times in line 2. At the end of pass 2, we have got line 2 completed. Then we have a printf/n. So that means a new line has to be taken for the next row, next implementation of I. That is pass 3. Pass 3, I becomes 3 and 3 less than equal to 5. We need to print line 3. So here J again starts from 1. The new loop starts from 1. I continues with 3. J will be starting from 1. So 1 less than equal to 5 is true. Print Pi. I is 3. So P3 is printed once for the step 1 in pass 3. Next step, J becomes 2. P3 is printed second time in line 3. Similarly, J is 3, P3 prints third time. Next, when J becomes 4, P3 is printed fourth time. And J becomes 5, P3 is printed 5 times. Right? So here we got line 3 completed. And when J becomes 6, 6 less than equal to 5 is false. So it exits from the inner loop. So this is 3 executions of I loop. Next, fourth one is pass 4. For pass 4, I becomes 4. 4 is less than equal to 5, true. We need to print line 4 now. So line 3 we have printed. First 3 lines we have printed the pattern. Next, J starts from 1 again. So J1, so 1 is less than equal to 5, condition true. We need to print PI. I is 4 this time. So we print P4. And next, when J becomes 2, so it needs to execute second time. So when second time, P4 is printed second time in the fourth row. Next, for J equal to 3, 3 less than equal to 5, print Pi, that is P4, 4 is the value of I, print P4 3 times in the line 4. Then for J equal to 4, P4 is printed for fourth time. When J becomes 5, 5 less than 5, condition is true, P4 is printed 5 times. Now when J becomes 6, condition is false. So we have printed 4 lines of the pattern. Then we have slash n new line, that is next pass 5. So I has incremented to 5 now. So 5 less than equal to 5, condition is true. Now again J has to start from 1. So print line 5, J will start from 1. So 1 is less than equal to 5, true. Now print Pi, I is 5. So for 5, print P5 first time. 1 value is printed in the fifth line. Then we have P5 printed second time for J equal to 2. And then J equal to 3, print P5 third time. J equal to 4, 4 less than equal to 5, condition is true. Print P5 fourth time in the fifth line. Then when J is 5, print P5, that is I, I is 5. Fifth time in the line 5. When J becomes 6, 6 less than equal to 5, condition is false. So we will stop the pass 5 and then we have a slash n. So after this, when I is incremented in pass 6, I becomes 6. So the condition now is 6 less than equal to 5, which is false. So we observe that the required pattern is printed on the output screen. I hope this is clear. So now let us see tracing for pattern 2 in similar way. So we have pattern 2, the program logic, just the nested loop part I have taken here. So the pattern to be printed is the one shown here, that is P along with column numbers. In this logic is to print the column numbers, which is identified by J. So let us trace this. Similarly, we have pass 1. In one pass, we have the value, first value of I with multiple values of J. So that is called as each pass. Pass 1, I value is 1. We need to print Pj. Please note, in the previous problem, we have printed Pi. We have printed row numbers. Here we are printing column numbers. So the code has to be changed correspondingly. We are printing the value of J here. So first line, we are having I is equal to 1. 1 is less than equal to 5. So condition is true. So here print line 1. So J starts from 1. So for the first value, we see condition J has to be less than equal to I. J is 1, which is less than equal to 1, true. 1 is equal to 1, true. So print P J value. J value is 1. So in line 1, we just print P1 here. Next, J increments to 2. 2 less than equal to I. I is 1. 2 is not less than or equal to 1. Condition is false. So the control exits from the inner loop and then we have a slash n. So next pass will be printed in a new line. So that is pass 2. I is now incremented to 2. 2 less than equal to 5. Yes, it is true. Here we need to print line 2. Please note, pass 1 we printed only the first line and in pass 2 we will print the second line. So how does it start? So J again starts from 1. This is an important concept to note. A new loop, the inner loop will always start from the first value 1. So J starts from 1, 1 less than equal to I. I value is true, 2. That is true. So here we need to print Pj first. So J is 1. So we will print P1 in the second line. Here we have printed one value in the second line. Next, J becomes 2. Increment J to 2. 2 less than equal to 2. Yes, it is true. So print Pj, that is J is 2. P2 is printed in the second line. So this is the second step in pass 2. When we see next what happens to J is J plus plus. 3 plus 1, J becomes 3. 3 less than equal to I. I is 2. Condition is false. So the loop, the J loop completes here, and then we have a new line. So we have printed the first 2 lines of the pattern. Now cursor is in the third line. In pass 2, we will print the next, pass 3, we will print the next line in the new line. So now pass 3 starts from I equal to 3. 3 less than equal to 5. Condition is true. We have to print line 3 here. So we have the value J starts from 1. So 1 less than equal to I is 3. So yes, it is true. So in the third line, we are printing P J value. J value is 1. So we print P1. Next step in pass 3, J becomes 2. So I is still 3, J is 2. So 2 less than equal to 3. Yes, condition is true. Print Pj in the third line, that is P2 is printed. Next, when J becomes 3, 3 less than equal to 3, true. So print P3 in the third line. In this case, when J is 4, 4 less than equal to I is 3 in this pass. 4 less than equal to 3, condition is false. So exit from the inner loop, and then we have /n. So we have printed the first 3 lines of the pattern. Next, cursor is in the fourth line. So pass 4, I value is 4. 4 less than equal to 5, true. We have to print line 4. So again, it starts from 1. So we are printing P1, which is 1 value of J. 1 less than equal to 4, print P1. Next, when J becomes 2, print Pj, that is P2 in the fourth line. Second value in the fourth line is P2. Next, I is 4 itself. J becomes 3. 3 less than equal to 4. Print P3 in the fourth line. Third value in the fourth line. Then J becomes 4. Next, we print P4, which is the fourth value in line 4. Now, when J becomes 5, we observe that J is 5, whereas I is 4. 5 less than equal to 4. Condition is false. So exit from the J loop, and then we have a /n. So we have printed first 4 lines and up to pass 4. Next, we have pass 5. I value is 5. 5 less than equal to 5. Condition is true. Print line 5. So here we have J value starts from 1. 1 less than equal to I is 5. 1 less than 5, true. So print Pj, that is P1 in the fifth line. First value in the fifth line. Second value will be J equal to 2. 2 less than 5. So print P2 in the fifth line. Similarly, J is 3. Print P3 in the fifth line. Then J is 4. Print P4 in the fifth line. Next, when J becomes 5, we have the value 5 is less than equal to 5i. So condition true, print P5 in the fifth line. Now when J is 6, 6 less than equal to I is 5. So 6 is not less than equal to 5. Condition is false. So it stops this inner loop. Now /n, and then increment I was 5. It now becomes 6. So 6 less than equal to 5. Condition is false. So the output is as shown. So this is the required pattern. So let us see a quick program execution. So we have the program, which is this, as we have discussed. So we have the 2 patterns, in the same program. So we start from header file main, and then the first declaration of I and j. So first part is for pattern 1, and then a new line, and then next part of the code is pattern 2, as we have discussed. So in this case we are going to compile. So compile this GCC pattern 1 2 as the name given. So GCC is used to compile this program. So .c is for the C program. So when after compilation we get back the prompt, there is no error. So execution A for MinGW. So when we execute, we see both the patterns printed on the screen. So this is pattern 1, and then we have pattern 2. Okay, so let me clear the screen. So now going back, we have the program, right? So next we are going to see the next program. Similarly, we are printing pattern as shown. In this problem, we are going to print a pyramid pattern up to nth row. In this question, we take n as the input, which is the number of rows to be printed. So here there are 5 rows, so n value will be 5. So let us analyze this. So we see that the pattern is like this. We have to print 5 stars, and then 4 and 3 and 2 and 1. What we need to print is stars. So we are going to give the first basic statement will be print star. So printf star will print 1 star. Now we need to print 5 stars. So in that case, so let us take the number of columns when we observe is, say we start from 0, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So if we have the value of I, each row in a new line, I value starts from the value of n. So if we consider n as 5 here, so it starts from 5. There are 5 columns in the first row, 5 stars. Then there are 4 in the second row. There are 3 columns values in the third row, and then 2 columns in the fourth row and 1 in the fifth row. So I value keeps decrementing from n, that is 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So when it becomes 0, it has to stop. So the condition will be I greater than 0, and j will be based on the value of I, similar to what we have discussed before, right? So j should be less than I. So here declare the required variables, and then n will be the input as per the requirement. N is the input number of rows. Declare the variables, and then we have the entire program along with the header file. So correspondingly, we have the flow chart, wherein start we are declaring header file and the main, and then declare the required variable nij. Take input for n. I starts from n here. So I starts from n. Condition for I is greater than 0, and j starts from 0. Condition is j less than I. If it is true, we are printing star every time, and then increment j. This is the inner loop. As long as j loop is true, it keeps executing for one value of I. And when j is false, it comes out and then a new line. Then we decrement I here. J is incremented and I is decremented. So that is one execution of I. When I decrements, then next again J will be executed multiple times. So this continues. So here we can see a nested loop. So this I is the outer loop, and then J is the inner loop. Okay. So let us see a tracing. How can we arrive at this pattern using the logic? So the part of the program, the main logic is considered first. So for the pattern tracing, we have the main logic, which is the nested loop. So when we analyze this, similarly, n starts with 5. N input is 5. So in pass 1, I value starts from n. N is 5. So 5 greater than 0, true. In pass 1, we are going to print the first line. Line 1 is with the value of j. So j equal to 0, 0 less than 5. Condition is true. So we print star once. Next, j is incremented to 1, 1 less than 5. True. Print star second time in the first line. Pass 1 is only for printing line 1. So when j becomes true, print star 3 times. J is 3, 4 times we print star. J is 4, print star 5 times, because 4 is less than 5. Now when j becomes 5, 5 less than 5 condition is false, we are stopping the first execution of J loop. Then we have a /n. Please note that J starts from 0 up to 4, so we get 5 stars in the first line. Now second line is pass 2. When pass 2, note that I will be decremented. I was 5. 5 minus minus, so 5 minus 1, I becomes 4. 4 is greater than 0. Condition is true. We have to print line 2 now. So J starts from 0. 0 less than 4, true. Print star first time in the second line. Second line 2, 1 star. Then J becomes 1. 1 less than 4, true. Print J star, the value of star, the value star is printed 2 times. J is incremented to 2. Star is printed 3 times in line 2. J is 3. Star is printed 4 times. Until this case, J value is less than I. When J becomes 4, 4 less than 4 condition is false, and we stop the inner loop execution. Now new line is there. So cursor comes to the third line, that is in the next pass. So pass 2 is completed. In pass 3, I value is decremented. 4 minus 1, I becomes 3. So line 3 has to be printed. So here J starts from 0, 0 less than 3. So in the third line, we have 1 star printed. Next, J is incremented to 1, 1 less than 3, true. We print second star. Then when J becomes 2, 2 less than 3 is true. We print star again. So in the third line 3 times. Now J becomes 3. So when J is 3, 3 less than I is also 3, condition is false. So it stops the execution of inner loop, and then a new line. Now I will get decremented. So in the pass 4, I becomes 2, and we need to print. So 2 greater than 0, condition 2 condition. Then we print the fourth line in pass 4, where J starts from 0. So 0 less than 2, condition is true. We print 1 star. Next, J is incremented to 1, 1 less than 2. So print 2 times. Star is printed 2 times. Then J becomes 3. J becomes 2. 2 less than 2, condition is false. So we stop this execution of inner loop, and then we have a /n. Cursor comes to the fifth line. So now I has to be decremented. 2 minus 1, I becomes 1. In pass 5, I is 1. 1 greater than 0, true. Now we need to print line 5. So we have printed 4 lines already. So J starts from 0. 0 less than I is 1, true. Now print star here. So we print star in the fifth line. 1 star is printed. Now we have J becomes 1. 1, 0 plus 1, 1. So 1 less than 1 condition is false. So it exits the inner loop, and then we have a /n. Now when we have this step completed, the I value is decremented further. So 0 minus 1, I becomes 0. When we check this condition, 0, 0 greater than 0, condition is false, and the control exits from the outer loop also. And we have the required output. Okay. So let us see a quick program execution for this as well. So we have the pattern star. I've just named this as pattern star. So that is pattern star.c. So we have the same program, which is pattern star.c. So let us compile this. So compilation command is gcc pattern star.c. So once we compile, execution here is A. So when we compile, enter the value of n. N is the number of rows. So here we need 5 rows. So in give value as 5, we can see 5 rows. So this can be implemented for another example as well. So let us say clear screen. So we are here compiling the same program, and say another input, we want to give 8. Let us see, we need 8 rows. We need to print 8 rows with 8 stars in the first row, and then 7, 6, 5 up to 1. So that is the pattern according to the input. So we can observe that there are 8 stars in the first row, then 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2 up to 1. So this is the execution that completes the two programs. Thank you for watching.